Hello, welcome to Life Matters. I'm your host, Brendan O'Connell. Well, it's a special time of year that we have the 40 Days for Life campaign, and it's been quite successful in the past, and we're very honored to have the national campaign director with us today, and also the local campaign director. The national campaign director is Shawn Carney. Shawn, welcome to the show.
Thanks. I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Shawn, can you tell us a little bit about the growth and what's happening this cycle as far as the 40 Days for Life campaign is concerned?
Absolutely. Well, 40 Days for Life is based in the grassroots. It's a local campaign, and it started in College Station, Texas in the fall of 2004 when we did the first campaign there. And since 2007, after we decided to launch this as a national effort, never knowing it would go international, it's just spread rapidly, and that's because it's based at the grassroots level. Local leaders like Rita, who have taken this on and decided to do something about abortion where they live. And so this fall, we'll have 307 cities participate in the 40 days of prayer and fasting, 40 days of community outreach, and 40 days of peaceful vigil outside where the abortions actually happen. So the campaign will start September 23rd, and it ends on November 1st.
Mm-hmm. And when you say a peaceful campaign, what do you mean by that? Or are there any things that people do to make sure that it is a peaceful campaign?
Yeah, that's a great question because, for a lot of people, we've had 650,000 people participate in 40 Days for Life that we know of. And, they go out there because it's not what they want to do necessarily, but it's what they feel they're called to do, and that's what's necessary to give women and men a chance at the last moment to turn around from having an abortion. So it's rooted in prayer. And when we go out there, we pray, we obey the law. You won't be arrested when you participate in 40 Days for Life. And we ask everybody to sign a statement of peace, saying that you'll have a Christ-like attitude, saying that you're going to follow the law, because that makes the prayer more visible. It puts it on display as the center of the campaign, and yelling at people or getting angry or any of the things that you see stereotypically put on pro-lifers in the media, that's not what you're going to find at a 40 Days for Life campaign. You're going to see abortion confronted where it happens, but the confrontation is rooted in prayer and often silence, giving these moms an opportunity to come over and to talk to us and to leave.
Mm-hmm. And what kind of statistics nationally or internationally have you had many saves as far as saving people's lives or conversions or workers leaving abortion clinics, anything like that?
Absolutely. That's one of the hopes, right? When we go out, we want to see a mom turn around and know that she chose life. We have over 10,000 moms that we know of, 10,336 to be precise, moms who said that they chose life at the very last moment. Those are the ones that we can confirm. You mentioned the conversions. Often people tell us, well, the abortion industry hates you and you hate them, and abortion is just a topic people argue about. We don't want to get in the middle of it. And quite the opposite. We can't just sit back and say, well, nobody's going to change their mind. That's not how America was built, and abortion doesn't allow us to do that. It's an urgent issue. And we've seen those workers, those people that everybody says, well, they're supposed to be your enemies. Quite the opposite. They may think that the first week or the first 2 weeks, but then they see people out there in the rain and the heat, where I live in Texas, or the snow where you guys are, or where y'all are, I should say. And after a couple of weeks of enduring some of that, the workers start to not focus on the people being out there, but the reality of the job that they do. And it puts the focus back on abortion. So we've had 118 abortion facility workers have a change of heart and leave their job. And those are the ones that we know about. Not just got mad and quit working there, but actually had a change of heart and left their job. It is very, very powerful to realize, not just talk about that this is about hearts and minds, but to really see it from those who are doing the abortions themselves.
And what about the number of clinics? Have you had any abortion clinics close with the 40 Days for Life effort?
Yes, that's been one of the tremendous blessings. I mean, we've had record closings across America over the last 2 years, especially. Abortion facilities have been closing rapidly. Just from 40 Days for Life, we've seen 61 of our locations close their doors and go out of business. 61 abortion facilities that have closed their doors and gone out of business, including the one in College Station, Texas, where 40 Days for Life first began. We then partnered with a pregnancy resource center, and that is now our headquarters. We are opening that office this weekend with a celebration event to show what God did in our town, and also for it to be a symbol of what God can do in any town. We pray that one day every abortion facility is closed and that there's a pro-life organization or a pregnancy center in that facility, because with prayer all things are possible.
I see. And do you find that most of the closures, like for instance when I was in Texas at the National Right to Life Convention, Rick Perry at the time had promised an additional legislative session so that they could pass 3 or 4 pro-life laws aimed at abortion clinics to conform with regular medical ambulatory clinics. Have you found that those laws have been very helpful in helping to close these clinics more quickly?
Absolutely, because what happens is, abortion is so unregulated. It's getting better state to state. But as the regulations are implemented, just basic medical health care regulations that protect women, when those are implemented, abortion facilities that have had 40 Days for Life campaigns, or they've had a lot of pro-life activity that has hurt their business, the ones that are just, they're not doing well financial anyways, they won't invest the money to raise their standards of health care. Instead, they opt to close. And but there has to be that their business usually has to be hurting, and so it's been great to see the impact of 40 Days for Life campaigns on some of these abortion facilities, and certainly seeing the impact of great pro-life legislation that has helped raise the standards of abortion facilities, many of which decide not to raise their standards and close.
I see. Now, we've had in recent times the Center for Medical Progress, which has many undercover videos, one coming out a week. I think they're still coming out with them, exposing Planned Parenthood and the selling of baby parts that are aborted as an additional revenue stream for them. Has that been, has that helped you get more and more people involved in 40 Days for Life once they're exposed to the atrocities going on in the abortion industry?
Well, I think it's helped the movement at large because it is reminding us of the gruesome reality that abortion is. I mean, from the videos, we know that Planned Parenthood harvests the baby parts of the aborted children and sells them. And I know there are a lot of investigations going on to see, how much they profit and all of that. But the videos have motivated people who either have been on the fence or maybe have been in the movement a while because it's a reminder. It's a reminder of the barbaric nature of abortion. And it also reminds us of the industry that we're dealing with, that if you can take the life of a baby, then your conscience is so numb and dead that you have no problem selling his or her body parts for money. And that's a gruesome reality. It's certainly a wake-up call for where we are in our nation, but it's not one without hope. It certainly has driven a lot of people to do more, many for the first time in the pro-life movement. And when you look at the whole movement at large, I mean, we had 42 years of legalized abortion, and yet Planned Parenthood's brand, their name, is at an all-time low. And the videos have been a huge contributor to that over the recent weeks and months. And it calls attention. And it gets people to not, be paralyzed, but get active and pray and participate. We're seeing new 40 Days for Life campaigns could come out of the woodwork because people were so outraged at these Planned Parenthood videos. And so it's very encouraging. It's not reason for despair. It's time to pray and to act and to bring even more awareness to this brutal industry.
And finally, Shawn, where do you see the church, the Catholic Church, which isn't as big in the South, but it's bigger in the North, where do you see them aligning? Are they coming your way to 40 Days for Life around the country? I mean, it's been sporadic at best, I guess I would classify it thus far. Well, how do you see it? Do you see an acceptance of faith-based organizations with 40 Days for Life?
Absolutely. And then, Walker Piercy, a Catholic novelist, said that the renewal of Catholicism would come from the South. So while we definitely don't have as many Catholics in the South, the ones that we have is certainly booming. We see a lot of growing dioceses, a lot of young, enthusiastic bishops. 40 Days for Life wouldn't have spread across the country without the support of the Catholic bishops. I mean, the Catholic Church specifically has been very, very consistent in their support of 40 Days for Life. They've promoted it. They've allowed it in the parishes and in dioceses and schools. So it's really been phenomenal. And I think one of the reasons is that, the Church has always defended the unborn, but it's something that people can participate in. It's rooted in prayer. It's something that priests and bishops don't have to take on themselves because they have a million things going on their plate already. But it's something they can participate in and encourage others to do the same. And so it's been wonderful to see not only Catholics but Protestants and evangelicals come together. Pastors from different denominations have certainly come together through the pro-life movement. And it's a great way of evangelization, but it's also a reminder to us that this is God versus a secular agenda. It's God versus godlessness. I mean, abortion is evil. The only way that you can get away with it in any good conscience is to deny the existence of God. And it's been beautiful to see so many Christians and who have supported the campaign and so much support from the Catholic Church.
Well, Shawn, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts on the 40 Days for Life nationally. And now we're going to turn to our local chapter campaign director, Rita Russo, who's visiting us all the way from Norwood, Massachusetts. How about that?
Hi, Brendan.
Well, Rita, you organized quite an event back in August of 2015 out in front of Planned Parenthood. I'd never seen so many people out there. What was that all about on a Saturday morning?
That was Protest Planned Parenthood, and it was across the country. There were over 350 cities participating, thousands and thousands of people came out. It was in response to the videos that were being released about the harvesting and sale of baby parts. And people who had never, ever been involved in anything pro-life before were calling me, emailing me, wanting to come, wanting to participate, because they were outraged, and it was a good event, a very good event.
Well, I happened to make it myself, and I gave up beach volleyball to be there on a Saturday morning. So now, I wanted to ask you, you're the campaign director here, and I guess it's a follow-up question I asked Shawn, and that is, what about the Archdiocese of Boston? Are they participating at all in 40 Days for Life?
We don't have formal support from the diocese. What I have to say that changed in the last 2 months is that we have had some positive press in the Pilot, the Catholic newspaper. They covered the protest at Planned Parenthood, and there was another article. So that was very encouraging to us. The church is fairly silent on it in Boston. We have a modest number of priests who have a lot of moral courage and support us and are with us every campaign, leading prayer vigils, and we also have seminarians that participate, and that's very encouraging. But we need and would like to see more support from the church.
Do you feel that the Archdiocese is either just lacks the moral courage to say get out there and pray in front of these abortion clinics? I know that you don't want to alienate them, but I mean, I've watched you through several campaigns, and the Archdiocese of Boston is silent. It's by their silence, to me, it's a condoning of Planned Parenthood activities.
Well, it is true that they're silent, and I am disappointed in that. I would like to see the Cardinal come out and lead the Rosary at Planned Parenthood like the Bishop does in Worcester, and I hope someday we'll see that.
Mm-hmm. Now, you when you gave your talk the other day, you were comparing just a few of the lies that Planned Parenthood propagates. For instance, they say something to the effect of only 3% of their activity is abortion. Could you explain why that is not true, or give some analogies that would be commensurate to that?
Basically, the way they come up with that number is that they unbundle their services. So if one client comes in and has multiple services, they get a test for sexually transmitted disease, they get a pregnancy test, they get birth control pills. Each service is counted individually on an equal basis and has the same weight and the same value as, for an example, an abortion. And so it's a fake figure. There have been some comparisons about that. This was in an article in the Times, and it said such cracked reasoning could be used to obscure the purpose of any organization. Sponsors of the New York City Marathon could count each small cup of water that they hand out, some 2 million cups, compared with 45,000 runners, and say they're mainly in the hydration business. Mm-hmm. Or another example is that Major League Baseball teams could say that they sell about 20 million hot dogs and play 2,430 games in a season. So baseball is only 0.012% of what they do. So you can do anything with numbers if you're creative. It's a creative accounting, I would say.
I think there's a famous book about how to lie with statistics.
Yes.
Can I ask you then, how does one go about getting folks to come out? Because you're talking 40 days, there's 24 hours in a day, and you like them to come out for how long? An hour or 2 hours?
I have to say that in some parts of the country, 40 days is around the clock for 40 days, 24 hours a day. Uh-huh. They have Knights of Columbus doing Nights for Nights. In Boston, we're a bit more realistic. We do our best to cover 12 hours, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And we're very blessed in that we have Operation Rescue, very active in Boston, and they have sidewalk counselors there Tuesday through Saturday mornings. That helps a lot. But covering until 7 p.m. and Saturdays, all day Saturdays and Sundays, it's a struggle. And I won't say that I have perfect coverage because it's far from that. But we do have a lot of very faithful people who come out every week. And I'm very impressed that I have people coming in an hour or longer from the suburbs faithfully to pray with us. And I want to see Boston people coming in. I want them to come down the street. I want them to hop on the T, and I want to see more Boston. I want Boston to show the world that we care about these babies and come out and pray with us.
Mm-hmm. And how can folks get a hold of you as far as signing up or finding out what 40 Days for Life in Boston is all about?
Well, there is a national website, 40daysforlife.com, and to get the Boston campaign, you put /Boston, mm-hmm. and that has all the contact information. You can register and sign up online for vigil hours. My email address is there, or you can email me. My phone number is there, so you can call me if you have any difficulty. I'm very happy to plug anyone in for vigil hours and answer any questions, help with signage, anything I can do, I'm available, and I'm happy to help. Mm-hmm.
And where is it now? You're in front of Planned Parenthood.
Yes, 1055 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston.
Which is over by Boston University.
Yes, it's right there
Right
at
there.
Boston
And
University.
what about the abortion clinic in Brookline, Della Bovi's? Is there anyone in front of
Women's
that
Health
one?
and Operation Rescue prays there. I've been praying there one day a week for years now, since she moved to that site, and before that I was on Route 9 praying in front of her clinic.
Mm-hmm. And recently there was an article that came out about Della Bovi that I guess she gets most of her clients from Brigham and Women's. Is that correct?
There is, I believe, a referral business. If you go online and you look at the hospital's services, they do list her clinic. And I believe that a large portion of their abortion referrals are made to her.
Mm-hmm. And my understanding is she was involved in some manner or fashion with this baby parts, selling of baby parts and doing research.
Well, I have no specific knowledge of her selling baby parts, although I would be highly suspicious. But there is a study from 2011, and she's listed on the study as one of the researchers. And I believe they did studies on 22 babies, I believe 14 to 22 weeks gestation. And I'm afraid that the research was done on these babies between 2 and 4 hours after their demise. So
you mean after they were aborted, they were rushed over to Brigham and Women's Hospital?
Well, I don't know where the study was done, actually, wherever it was done.
So that's only a mile or two away, so it's fairly close.
It's pretty brutal.
Is there any 40 Days for Life out in front of that abortion mill in Brookline?
No, there isn't. The way that 40 Days for Life operates is a particular campaign is at a particular clinic. Now, someone else could run a campaign at that clinic if they chose to. Mm-hmm. I chose Planned Parenthood because it is the largest, the busiest, the most visible. Mm-hmm. If that ever closed, well, sure, we could go to Brookline. I know if you look at the website for 40 Days for Life, you can see all the campaigns in the entire country. And for example, if you go to California, you see dozens of campaigns in one city. It's quite amazing because there are so many more abortion
And what
facilities.
about the college students? Are they inclined to come down for 40 Days for Life, would you say?
The college students, Students for Life is pretty active in the Boston area. They have a lot of their own activities. I am in touch with the local leaders of Students for Life in Boston. They've been very supportive. We are working to get more interaction between us. I would like to see more college students down
out
on
there.
Commonwealth Avenue, yes.
And I wanted to ask you, is there a 40 Days for Life in Lynn also?
There is one in Lynn, yes.
I see. So there are two there. Are there any others
There's
in the
one
state?
in Haverhill.
Haverhill?
There's one in Attleboro. There's one in Worcester. And there's one in Springfield.
So they get quite a bit of coverage then. And are the Springfield and Worcester dioceses more supportive of 40 Days for Life than the Boston Archdiocese?
I know there's a lot of support in Worcester. The bishop in Worcester leads a Eucharistic procession around Planned Parenthood. He says a Mass on opening day. And he leads the rosary. He was down there at the protest in August and led a rosary and spoke at Planned Parenthood in Worcester. And we're a little envious, I have to say.
Well, I don't know if I should say very well, but it's good to see that at least the Worcester Diocese is doing something. And finally, what are your hopes and dreams as far as this upcoming 40 Days for Life here in Boston over on Commonwealth Avenue? What would you like to see?
I would like to see lots of people turning out and giving witness and showing the world it is not okay to kill innocent children and harvest and sell their body parts, and that it's not okay. The world cares and it has to stop. I want to see lots of people down there.
Well, very well. Well, Rita, thank you so much for coming in and giving us a little idea of what it's been like to run 40 Days for Life in Boston, and what we can do as locals here in the city of Boston or the surrounding suburbs coming into the largest abortion mill in Massachusetts, which is on Commonwealth Avenue. Well, thanks for watching. We hope you found today's show to be unique, informative, content-rich, truthful, and thought-provoking. I'm Brendan O'Connell, your friend for life.